Hey everyone, and welcome back. We're going to be doing a deep dive today on something that's been all over the Philippine entertainment news.
Yeah.
And it involved two actors you might know, Rita Daniela and Archie Alemania.
Mm,
And basically this all kind of stems from a party that went very wrong.
right.
So we've got some news articles here to kind of break down what happened.
Yeah, it's a tough one. It,
Yeah,
it it really brings up questions of like consent and how easily those lines can be blurred, especially in an industry like this where power dynamics are
right.
so prevalent.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot to unpack here.
Yeah.
So just to give everyone some context,
Mm,
Rita Daniela, she's a really well-known actress and singer. You might recognize her from shows like My Special Pete and All Out Sundays.
mm-hmm.
And Archie Alemania, he's been around for a while too, known for like mostly his comedic roles.
Yeah.
And they were both part of the cast for the drama series Widow's War.
Right, and that's where things get a little sticky because
Yeah.
Daniela filed a legal complaint against Alemania. Oh, wow.
For acts of lasciviousness with the Office of the City Prosecutor.
Okay, hold on. I need a little help understanding that term.
Mhm.
Acts of lasciviousness.
Right. So in the Philippines, acts of lasciviousness, it carries a lot more weight than just saying harassment. Right.
Oh, okay.
It implies a serious offense
Good, got it.
of a sexual nature. It's definitely not something to be taken lightly, and it indicates that the allegations against Alemania are
Right.
pretty severe.
Okay, so backing up a bit, this all started after a party back on September 9th.
Mm-hmm.
Actress Bea Alonzo was hosting a get-together for the cast and crew of Widow's War.
Right.
And according to Daniela's affidavit, Alemania was apparently intoxicated and started making some inappropriate comments toward her.
Yeah. I mean,
Right.
think about it. You're at a party
All right.
with colleagues trying to have a good time,
Yeah.
celebrate, and you've got someone who's supposed to be, a respected member of the cast.
All right. Behaving this way, it really speaks volumes about the kind of atmosphere when you disregard basic boundaries.
Right. Yeah, it's definitely setting off some alarm bells
Yeah.
for me. And unfortunately, it sounds like things didn't stop there.
Right.
It was getting late past 2 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
Daniela was waiting for her ride, and that's when Alemania offered to drive her home.
Oh.
He kind of framed it like a safety concern.
Right.
She agreed, thinking of him as like a friend and someone older.
That's a really key point, I think.
Yeah.
Just because someone is a friend or even someone you see as a mentor
Right,
doesn't give them a free pass to cross boundaries. You know what I mean?
right.
And this whole situation, if proven, could set a major precedent in the Philippines for clarifying what constitutes unacceptable behavior,
Right,
regardless of pre-existing relationships.
yeah. So they're in the car, and Daniela claims that Alemania starts touching her neck and shoulders completely uninvited. She told him to stop, reminded him she saw him as an older brother figure,
Sure.
but it didn't end there, did it?
Sadly, no, it did not.
Okay,
According to her statement, Daniela details how things escalated when they got to her house.
okay.
Alemania allegedly tried to kiss her, and despite her protests, he grabbed her head and forced a kiss on her lips. That's a clear violation regardless of how brief the encounter might have been.
That's awful, and it gets even worse.
Oh, no.
As she was trying to get out of the car,
Yeah.
Daniela says Alemania grabbed her bag, pulled her back, and groped her breast.
This alleged escalation of unwanted physical contact is what makes this situation so alarming.
Right.
It really underscores how quickly things can spiral out of control when someone just disregards another person's boundaries.
Yeah.
You know, it's commendable that Daniela, even in that state of shock and fear, had the presence of mind to text Alemania immediately after the incident.
Wait, so right after this happened, she texted him.
Yeah.
What did she say?
The news reports say she texted him expressing how disrespected and violated she felt.
Wow.
And that was a smart move
Yeah.
because it created a digital record of his actions and her immediate reaction.
Right.
That kind of evidence
Oh, wow.
could be crucial in a legal case.
That's some incredibly quick thinking on her part.
Yeah.
It sounds like she just instinctively knew she needed to document what happened.
Right.
So what was Alemania's response to her text?
Well, according to the reports, he apologized via text,
Okay.
claiming his actions were due to his drunkenness.
Oh, okay.
But get this, he then proceeds to try and call her repeatedly,
Seriously?
even waiting outside her house,
Oh, my God.
despite her explicitly asking him to leave her alone.
So he apologized and then basically ignored her request for space.
Right.
That's not a good look.
Exactly. And it makes you question the sincerity of his apology.
Right.
Was it genuine remorse or just damage control?
Right.
Legally speaking, this persistent contact after being asked to stop could be interpreted as a blatant disregard for her boundaries
Yeah.
and could actually work against him in court.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So even though he apologized and blamed it on the alcohol,
Right.
it might not hold much weight if his actions were demonstrably non-consensual.
Exactly.
It's a pretty sobering reminder that intoxication is never an excuse for violating someone.
Absolutely. And, these text messages, both hers stating her feelings and his persistent attempts to contact her afterward,
Yeah.
could become key pieces of evidence in this case.
Right.
The prosecution could argue that his behavior after the incident further corroborates Daniela's claims.
So this digital trail that he left could actually end up being his undoing.
Yeah, it's fascinating how, in today's world, even a simple text message can have such significant legal ramifications.
Yeah. But this is a bigger issue than just text messages, isn't it?
Of course.
This is about power, consent,
Yeah.
and how easily those lines can be blurred,
Right.
especially in a high-pressure industry like entertainment.
Absolutely. You're right.
Yeah.
This case could have a ripple effect, prompting much-needed conversations about consent. Not just in the Philippine entertainment industry, but in workplaces and social settings everywhere.
Wow.
It highlights the need for stronger safeguards and policies to protect individuals, particularly those who may be more vulnerable
Yeah.
due to their position or status. Think mandatory workshops on consent,
Right.
clear reporting mechanisms,
Wow.
and a zero-tolerance approach to any form of harassment.
It's almost like this case is holding up a mirror to the industry,
Yeah.
forcing everyone to take a hard look at these existing power structures
Right.
and how they might contribute to situations like this.
And that's incredibly powerful because real change starts with awareness,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
This case could empower others who have experienced similar situations to come forward, knowing they might be heard and taken seriously.
That's a good point.
Oh.
One person's courage to speak up can inspire others to do the same,
Exactly.
ultimately leading to a collective shift in how these issues are addressed.
Right.
But this isn't just about individual courage, is it?
Mm.
There's a systemic component here as well.
Absolutely. It's not enough to encourage individuals to speak up.
Right.
We need to examine the systems that allow this type of behavior to flourish in the first place.
Right.
Why might someone hesitate to report harassment?
Yeah.
What are the potential repercussions they fear?
Right.
How can we create an environment where people feel safe and supported coming forward?
Wow.
These are the tough questions we need to be asking.
Right. And, this case brings to mind another question.
Go on.
We've been focusing on Daniela's account of what happened,
Right?
which is obviously crucial.
Of course.
But what about Alemania's side of the story?
Right.
Has he made any public statement about the accusations?
That's a great question, and it's an important one to ask.
Yeah.
As of the latest news reports, Alemania has not publicly addressed the accusations. This could be for a number of reasons: legal strategy, fear of backlash,
Right.
or maybe he's still processing the situation himself. Whatever the reason, his silence leaves a lot of unanswered questions.
It does.
Yeah.
And I think it's important to acknowledge that we're only getting one side of the story right now.
Right.
We need to be careful about jumping to conclusions.
I agree. It's crucial to remain open to hearing other perspectives as the situation unfolds.
Right.
There may be nuances and details that we're not yet aware of.
So what can our listeners do while we wait for more information to come out?
Well, first and foremost, they can stay informed.
Right?
This is a developing story, and it's important to follow reliable news sources for updates.
Mm-hmm.
But beyond that, I think this case is a call to action for all of us.
Okay.
It's an opportunity to reflect on our own behaviors and attitudes towards consent.
Mm-hmm.
Ask yourself, how do I ensure I'm respecting boundaries in my own interactions?
Yeah.
What steps can I take to hold myself and others accountable for creating a safe and respectful environment?
Those are powerful questions. And, as we're having this conversation,
Yeah.
I keep thinking about how this situation transcends the entertainment industry.
Absolutely. This isn't just a celebrity scandal. It's a
Yeah.
reflection of societal norms and attitudes.
Yeah. It makes you wonder how many similar incidents happen every day in all sorts of workplaces,
Exactly. This case just shines a light on a problem that's probably way more widespread than we realize.
Right.
It's a reminder that we all have a role to play in creating a culture where everyone feels safe, respected, and empowered to speak up
Yeah.
if their boundaries are crossed.
So as we wrap up this deep dive,
Mm-hmm.
what's the key takeaway you want our listeners to walk away with?
Well, I think this case is just a powerful reminder that consent is not a one-time thing. It's an ongoing process that requires constant awareness and respect. It's about understanding that no matter who you are
Right.
or what your relationship is with someone, you never have the right to violate their boundaries.
And if you find yourself in a situation where someone is making you feel uncomfortable,
Yeah,
trust your instincts and don't be afraid to speak up.
absolutely. Your voice matters. And remember, there are resources available to help.
Right.
If you or someone you know has experienced harassment or assault, there are organizations and hotlines that can provide support and guidance.
Yeah, we'll make sure to include some of those resources in the show notes for this episode.
Great.
So as we close out this deep dive, I think it's worth emphasizing that while this story originated in the Philippines,
Right.
the issues it raises are universal.
Of course.
Incent respect and accountability, those are values that transcend borders and cultures.
Absolutely. Well said. This case serves as a stark reminder that we all have a responsibility to create a world where everyone feels safe and respected. It's a call to action for each of us to examine our own behaviors,
Right.
challenge harmful norms, and advocate for a culture of consent.
This has been a heavy but incredibly important deep dive. Thanks for joining us as we explore this complex and sensitive issue.
Yeah, thank you.
We'll continue to follow this story as it develops and keep you updated. Until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and most importantly, stay engaged in these crucial conversations.